Hi all, welcome to the second video in GCSE Algebra Basics. Oh, just realised it's meant to be 2, let's change it. This video is going to be covering collecting like terms, but we're going to be focusing specifically on multiplication and division. Okay, so in the previous tutorial, just to recap, we had the basic addition and subtraction. So we had addition, so we had, like for instance, 5a plus 2a plus f, and we simplified this to get, so what we did was we added these up, added the numbers in terms of, in front of the letters, but we had to keep each letter separate, remember? So we added the a's first, so we had 5 plus 2, so we had 7a, and then we added whatever letters we have, so numbers. So remember, this was a 1 in front of here, we just didn't write this, so this would be plus f or 1f, but remember we dropped the 1 in front of any variables because it saves us time. And remember, subtraction is the same thing, so if this was 5a minus, so if this was 5a minus 2a for subtraction, then it'd be easy, you just take away these instead, so it'd be 5 minus 2, which would give you then a 3, and then this will be the same, okay? Right, so now we're going to be covering multiplication and division. Okay, so how do you multiply and how do you divide these expressions, these algebraic expressions? We call them expression because there's no equal sign. Well, there is here when we're solving it, but when we're just simplifying it, we just add them up and we collect the like terms. Okay, so the first part of multiplication and division is multiplying or dividing. Multiplying or dividing by a constant. Okay, so this is by a constant. What do I mean by constant? Constant's just a number. So I'm not multiplying by any of the letters. I'm just multiplying by a number. So, for instance, what would be 5 times 2b? And remember as well, an important fact here. Forget about what the letters stand for, okay? These letters could stand for anything. These letters could stand for bananas. They could stand for apples. They could stand for really whatever you want. It doesn't really matter what these letters stand for. They could stand for anything, okay? So the first thing we're going to be doing is going to be multiplying by a constant. So how do I multiply or divide by a constant? So multiplying, so 5 times 2b. What I do is I look at the numbers. So I take my constant, so my number, 5, and I look at the numbers in front of whatever letter, doesn't matter what letter it is, and I just multiply the numbers. So I do 5 times 2, that gives me 10, and then I put the constant, whatever I'm multiplying on the end. So 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so another example would be 2 times 3a. I take 2, I multiply it by 3, so that's 6, and I add my letter. And it doesn't matter what order. I mean, the letters could be in the front, so if I had 3a times 2, or 3a times 2, or 2 times 3, it's the same. 5 times 6 is the same as 6 times 5, isn't it? So, and it's the same with dividing. So dividing, so if I'm going to divide, I'll have 15a divided by 3. I don't know why all these are 15s, sorry, 5s and 3. 15a divided by 3, I just take the number and I divide it by the number in front of the letter, and I divide it by the number, just the constant. So 15 divided by 3 is 5, and I want to add my letter in at the end, so 5a. Okay, that's all you do when you multiply by a constant. Okay, that is all you do. So for the second part, of this, I'll go down here. The second part, we're going to be multiplying by another letter. So how do we multiply by other letters or variables? So this is multiplying by variables. How do we multiply by variables? Well, it's easy, okay? If you ever remember your indices laws, we're not going to cover the indices laws just yet because it's a little bit complicated, but we'll just look at our expressions. If I have one variable, say a, and I want to multiply it by another variable, say b, what happens is I join the two variables together. So this multiplication sign here vanishes, and I get AB. Okay, that's my new variable. This is new. Okay, this is not the same as A or B, so I can't add it to A or B. So if I added A here, it doesn't mix. Okay, I'm just left with AB plus A. If I have peanut butter and peanut butter and I don't know, toast, I want to add some, I don't know, what would you have with it? Some weird, but some strawberries on the side. Unless I blended them up, I wouldn't get peanut butter strawberry toast. I just get peanut butter toast and strawberries. You can't mix these up. Okay, so once you multiply, you get your new variable. You can't mix them up. Okay, so what happens is they just join. Okay, that's simple as that. They just join up. So any variable. So if I had two together, so if I had AB and I want to multiply it by C, you just join them up. You get rid of the multiplication sign. And you join them up. So this becomes A, B, C. You add it. And the thing with multiplying by variables, it doesn't matter what order you write them. So CAB or ABC or whatever, BAC, it's all equal to the same thing. If they're all joined up, you're just multiplying each of them by each other. And because with multiplication, it doesn't matter what order you multiply. So 5 times 6 is the same as 6 times 5. As long as these are joined up, they're the same thing. Any order, okay? Any order of the letters, it doesn't matter, okay? So that's how you multiply. And for division, it's a similar thing. But for division, we write one over the other. So we don't join them up, so we don't join. We write them like in a fraction form, okay? So A divided by B then becomes A over B, okay? Easy as that, okay? So I'll give you a few questions to try. So question number 1, what is 5C multiplied by 10? Question 2, what is 5C multiplied by D? Question 3, what is D multiplied by 5EF? And question 4, what is AB divided by C multiplied by C? Okay, you have to think about these. This last one particularly is quite hard, so I'll let you have a go at these. Pause the video, have a go, and then come back and I'll work through. Okay, so if you pause the video and have a go at those, you'll find that the first one is just fairly straightforward. You just do what we've done before. So you take the numbers in front of the letters and you multiply. So 5 times 10 will give you 50. And then don't forget your variables, so C written on the end. Okay, because you don't want to forget what you're talking about. Apples, bananas, C's, D's, E's, F's. You don't want to forget that. Okay, for this one, now it's very similar to the example up above here. It doesn't matter if I write a constant, so a number, and then 2 letters, or it doesn't matter what order I write my numbers and letters, if it's a combination of them both. As long as I write them to show I'm multiplying them, as long as they're all joined up like in this example here. So I do my 5C times D. So I could write it as, there's any way I could multiply this, but first thing I'm going to take my 5 to keep it nice and clear to show how much of these there are. Now I'm going to join these C's and D's up. Sorry. So I'll have 5, and you do multiply before. You do it the same as before, so C and D join up, and the 5 slots in front. Okay? That's how we usually write variables, like in the addition, because 5CD, because multiplication's repeated addition, 5CD is CD plus CD plus CD plus CD plus CD, okay? When you add variables, it's the same thing, you just add your new variables up, okay? Like this. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we've got 5CD, okay? And similar thing here. Again, it doesn't matter what order I multiply these out, so D times 5EF, I could write it as D 5EF, but that's not how mathematicians usually write things. We take the number, the constant, and we put it in front. So I'm going to put 5 in front, And notice here, with this example here, remember like I said, there's a little 1 in front of this here. So really what I'm doing is I'm doing 5 times 1. And I'm putting it in front, okay? So I do 5, 5, and then I take my letters and I multiply them. It doesn't matter what order I write these out, so I'm going to just write D, E, F. But again, it doesn't matter. I could have 5, E, F, D, or 5, E, D, F. It doesn't really matter what order, as long as I'm joining these up to show that I'm multiplying them all, okay? And it's a new variable. I've created something new. Like if these were peanut butter and this was jam, I would create peanut butter jam. They're new, so I can add I can add new variables to that now. Okay, I can't. They're different. And this one here, how do you multiply when something's already got fractions? So remember, like I said, AB is its own variable. So it's previously it would have been A times B, but now it's AB. Okay. And so I've got AB divided by C, okay, great, times C. So how do I do this? Well, if you remember back to division with fractions, if I've got a fraction, so 1/2 times 2, do you remember what I do? I multiply the top by the fraction. So I'd have 2 on the top, 2 times 1 on the top, and on the bottom I'd have 2. And then what would I do? I would look to see if I could cancel. Yes, I can cancel here. I can cancel this 2 with this 2, so that becomes a 1. And it's the exact same with algebra. Okay, you join the top up and you look to see if you can cancel. Okay, but if you become more adept at this and the more you practice, you'll just be able to notice, oh, I can just cancel them both instantly. Okay, so this would become originally ABC divided by C. And remember, ABC is the same as A times B times C, because they're all joined up divided by C. And remember, with fractions, I look, can I cancel this A? No, this is not the same here, so I can't cancel this, because I just get A over C. Can I cancel this? No, but there's a C here, and there's a C here, and they're all being multiplied, and I can cancel. But remember, you can only cancel if there's a common term, okay? So if this was A plus B times C, I would not be able to cancel this unless I factorized it, okay? So factorized it, so if there was AB plus AC divided by C, remember I can take an A out as a factor, so I'd have A times B plus C, oh sorry, this is an A, divided by A, and then yes, this is multiplying, so I can cancel here, okay? I can only cancel terms when they're multiplying, okay? So I've taken you through multiplication and division here. In the next tutorial, we're going to be looking at indices rules with algebra, how you can go about using indice rules, how indice rules work with multiplication, division, etc. Okay, so I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Please like, subscribe, and leave any comments down below if you've got any questions, and I'll try my best to answer the questions. See you next time.